Would help if I added myself to stage, wouldn't it? Hello, everybody, and welcome to my session with Rana George. We are just waiting for Rana to join. Let me just check. I am just chatting with them now. They're trying to get her on as soon as possible. So while we wait, if you can all please put any Lenormand questions you have in the comments. Tell us who you are and where you're from. Sorry, I'm chatting with them now. Okay. Say who you are, where you're from, and let us know what Lenormand decks you have with you, and we'll have a little chat before we see if we can get Rana on. They are trying hard. Hi, Liam. Hi, Bob. Hi, Isaac. Hi, Anna. Jan. Yes, this will be recorded. Absolutely. Hi, Jane. Hi, Susanna. This will absolutely be recorded. And like I say, Rana is trying to get on. We are speaking about everything to do with Lenormand tonight. So like I say, if you have any questions on your Lenormand deck, or if there's anything you want to ask Rana personally, this is your time. I have a list of questions already, but obviously anything that you want to ask too, pop it in the questions. We're celebrating tonight because it's not long now. On the 6th and 7th of September, we have Lenormand Summit. 15 or over 15, 2 full days of Lenormand experts here just for you, available through World Divination. Hi, Andre. Hi, Estrella. Hi, Deb. Hi, Madame Claire, Yvette Leblanche. Veronica, hello. Hi, Yasna. Hi, Susanna. Hi, Tanya. There's lots of people on, and we're all around the world, which is amazing. Hi, Tina. It's lovely to see you or hear from you. Hope everything is all right, your end. Like I say to everybody, don't worry. Rana is behind the scenes trying to get on. I'm in communication with Dylan now. So it's just a matter of time before she pops on. Let's have a look who has joined. Hi, Stella. I nearly said it the German way there. Stella is on at Lenormand Summit on the 6th and 7th of September, speaking about if I can remember correctly, Stella, we are talking about breakfast with tarot, lunch is with Lenormand or something along those lines, tea with the cards, Lenormand and tarot. Is there a way to talk to those who have passed using the Lenormand deck? Absolutely. Rana will be on soon to answer that too. I'm covering my cup up. I've got Jane's cup, and I thought I would have finished it before I came live. So I'm covering the words up on there. It's a very sweary cup. Hi, Patty. Andrea. Dylan's just writing now, so I'll look at that in a second. So many questions. Absolutely perfect. Hi, Deb. It's lovely to see you here. Just waiting for that answer. StreamYard won't let me change the camera. Should have 1 second. It's Rana's son trying to get her on. Oh, that's a good question, Veronica. Absolutely. Hi, Yannicka. Vera, what spread is good for general readings? Absolutely amazing questions. If you don't know me, I'm Tony, the founder of World Divination. I'm the one that organizes the Lenormand Summit every single year. We're on our 5th year of Lenormand Summit. Every year it gets a little bit more exciting, a little bit bigger. And I'm also known as the card geek on social media. My favorite systems are Lenormand and Kipper. I do use tarot. I obviously have my tarot book out too. Hi, Anna. How do you choose what system to use? Great, great questions. While they're still trying, Isaac says, I'm just graduated now, finding a job. Can Rana give me some advice? Beautiful. Sending love from Hong Kong. Susanna, you've got changes coming. We won't actually be giving readings today. It's questions on Lenormand. Oops, covering that word up again. Hi, Yuri. I am just checking. Yes. One second. Just helping. They're trying on a different browser, but she will be here soon. Oh, the Moreau Lenormand spread. What to do when all of a sudden you have a complete blank in front of a GT. They're sorting it now, so don't worry, you haven't just got me. Oh, yes, absolutely, Lavero. Absolutely. So I'll go back up to the top so that we aren't missing any questions when Rana comes on. Ooh. So I like that, Andrea. Exact questions. I absolutely like that. What does it mean in a GT if both querent and future partner appear in the line of fate, followed by ring and fish? I can give you my answer, and when Rana comes on, I'm sure we'll have either similar answers or variations thereof. The line of fate for me can be set as anything before you lay your GT. So if I were laying a GT and the people fell at the bottom with those other cards, it would show me that it is fated to happen, but not in the time scale that you have set. So absolutely new partner coming in, but further, for example, if you've done a 12-month GT, it would be moving into the year after or even the year after that. So I'd be likely to pull a GT a little further down the line just to see. Jane, what are you laughing at? That concerns me. Okay. Hi, Rita. Lovely to see you. Oh, I don't have that one, Anna, the Aurum Lenormand. I absolutely don't have that. I don't know if you can post links in the comments, but give it a go for that one. I wish there was a deck that had a split card for the significators, top looking one direction, bottom looking the other. Absolutely, like in the scat cards. It's really, really useful to have them looking both ways. Am I the only one that wants to divine the directionality? I think you know the answer to that, Tina. I am a fan of directionality and use it in every single read that I do. Please explain how to read the coffin card when it's the first card in a line spread. Like I say, I'll tell you how I do while we get Rana on here. Coffin at the beginning of a spread basically shows an immediate ending or an immediate illness. The cards that come after it are the ones that will tell you what happens after that ending. So, for example, if you had coughing stalk, you know that there's going to be a transformation away. So, it's not just an ending, it's going to be a transformation. But then, if you had coughing cloud, you know things are going to get way worse, which makes that coughing at the beginning way, way worse. So if you have all positive cards coming out of the end of it, you know that it's going to be an ending with an upturn. If you have all negative cards afterwards, it's going to be a little bit like a tarot tower moment where things just go downhill from there. How do you exactly weave a story within the cards, especially in a GT? I have an easy time on interpreting in smaller spreads, but GTs can be problematic for me. I think, Jan, a lot of people struggle with the GT. But I think it's because of all the rules and regulations that people have learnt along the way. If you're very relaxed with your reading style and have a flow, you just move from that significator forwards. So you look to your man or you look to your woman and you navigate it from there in the line of sight, which is the line in which the significator sits. The main happenings are always in that line of sight. The other cards above and below actually just show or color what kind of extra interactions there are or what tangents there are along that line. So look for that line of sight. Dylan's writing now. Switching browsers and it worked. So she'll be on in a second. So before Rana comes on, and she's not going to hear me saying this because she's busy getting ready behind the scenes, Rana isn't just a colleague. Jane says the mug is magical. Thank you. It's yours. I knew I should have given it you rather than me before. Rana isn't just a colleague. Rana is a very, very good friend. We speak often and we support one another in every way that we can. She supports Jane too. She is just all round an amazing friend that I couldn't wish for more. When I'm struggling, Rana is there. And I hope when Rana's struggling, I am there too. So what you're seeing today is us putting our professional hats on, trying to have a professional conversation with one another when we are used to being friends. Rana is the best. She has a heart of gold. Hi, Karen. Karen says, Rana's deck is my go-to in all readings now. It's the gold, isn't it? It's the shiny. Everything that Rana does just exudes shininess. I'm moving my mug away now. It's done. But I do have a pet. I have a fly, and I don't have the fly swatter in here. So we're all going to have to deal with that. Oh, let's see if we can get her on. Keep your questions coming. We will absolutely get to as many as we can. And like I say, I will answer a few questions before Rana comes on, just to fill the time until then. And obviously, if we have time with Rana, we'll get through as many of these questions as possible. Anna asks, how do you choose what system to use to draw your interpretation from? Either German or French, modern or traditional. And here we go. Are you ready? Hello, my beautiful friend. Can't hear me yet. Okay. Dylan will sort it. I'll leave it a second. I'll just write to Dylan. It's okay. Okay. Turn my 1 second. Okay, I'm just giving them a second to make sure that they can hear me, because at the minute they can't hear me. Talking. Can you hear me now, Rana? No, she can't hear me at all. We will get there, though. Like I say, Dylan and I are chatting, so don't worry. We will get there.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can't hear still.
That's okay. That's okay. Just bear with us a second, and we'll get this going. Absolutely sorting this. Where's Dylan? There. One second. Oh, can you hear me?
Hear you.
Yay!
I can hear you.
So everyone,
Hello.
Rana, I was just saying, this is us trying to be professional together when we actually are very good friends, and we're not used to being online actually as professional bodies together, apart from when we're teaching. So how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm all good. We have a lot of questions in the comments already, Rana.
Okay.
So many questions. I'll read some names out so you can say hello to who is here. We have Anna, Deb. That's okay. I'll read them to you. In fact, look, we can do this.
Okay. Okay, I can see. I can see some now.
Yay. Ooh.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Jane. Hi, Annika. Oh, I hope I'm saying the name right. Mukta. Hello. Hi, Deb. Deb. Anna. Madame Clea. Hello, bonjour. Bonjour à vous. What's your favorite Lenormand card? My favorite Lenormand card is the key, of course. Why? Because you see the key. You see the key's all over my everywhere. The key, because when you have the key, you got it. You just, you got it. That's it. There is no ifs, buts, how. When you have the key, you have the answers. You have everything. You have it all. How about you, Tony? What's your favorite Lenormand card?
Well, the funny thing is about the key and why I love it so much is because when I lay a GT, I always check the card that's beneath key, because I always feel it has the solutions in there to the read. So it kind of draws your eyes into that place saying, look at this, look at this. So I love the key for that. But I think my favorite card, and it's not so popular with most people, but I love the clouds, because I love how you can see the disruption. I love how easy it makes it to see what disruption there is.
I think we have a rebel here.
It's funny because in tarot, my favorite's the Nine of Swords. So I do like the difficult cards.
The Nine of Swords. Yes, yes. That's the Gemini card too, no? In the tarot. Yes, the Nine of Swords. Yeah, I remember
It
one
fits
time.
both of us.
Yes, Lon told me, Lon Milo Duquette, he told me, you're the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Wow. And I'm like, that was like, I want to say like 15 years ago. Like, I wasn't like very, and I was like, okay. But then, Nine of Swords, you're like, oh, the worry. That's why I guess we take on so much, because we're both sisters in Gemini.
Yes,
So we both
Geminis.
overthinkers, the over warrior, the over all of that
Over
stuff.
everything.
Yes, 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 yes.
Absolutely. Well, I'll read you a question out and we'll see how
Yes.
we go with it. This is from Estrella, who asks, is there a way to talk to those who have passed using the Lenormand deck?
1 second, 1 second. Can I have her voice louder? Because I can barely hear Tony. Okay. Okay. So,
Is it better
you,
now?
yes, it's better. Now I can hear you. Yes, of course, you can use Lenormand deck to do mediumship. 100%. You can use anything. Look, so here's the thing. When you want to do mediumship, or when you want to talk to the other side, let's say, and you feel it, you really feel it strong, you feel something uh, like you feel it strongly, you feel a presence, let's say, and you feel it very strongly, you can really pick anything up that is next to you. You can pick, let's say, your eye might fall, let's say, on this shell, and then a meaning would come to you, like, oh my god, something is being enclosed, or something is getting ready to come out. And so basically, what the tools that you have been working through all your life prepares you to have a big kind of repertoire, a big kind of dictionary, a big mainframe. So when you get hints and your eye falls on certain items, you get an answer right away. In my new book, I have a whole section about mediumship. Woohoo! But this is how I see it. What about you, Tony?
I would say absolutely. And I actually, I was going to ask you, I use Lenormand for mediumship all the time. And I actually, it is my preferred deck for that. So scrying a Lenormand GT is one of my favorite pastimes. So like you're saying, you see an object and you get a hit. I think you do that also with the Lenormand GT when you're just drawn into it, and that one card just pops out to you as you open your eyes. I think it's one of the best tools for that. And it leads me into thinking about your deck and the spirit card, because that was really an amazing addition. What actually encouraged you to make those additions?
The it's the time, actually. Well, first, the two card, the spirit card, and the incense card. Those cards, I wanted to have those cards since I was 14. Since I was 14 years old, I would pull cards, and I wanted a card for spirit, and I wanted the card for incense. Since I was 14 years old, like, this is so important to me, because I deal with this, I deal with medium, I deal with all of that stuff, and I do clearing, and I do. So I needed those, and I used to use the cloud for the incense card. But then, it's not, you want something more, right?
Yeah.
And then because the cloud, you need the cloud, so I don't want it to use the cloud. So and then so I created those, like, this is my one, how do I say, thing that was driving me. I need to do my own deck. I need to do my own deck. I need to do my own deck, because the reason why I need to do my own deck, so I can have those for me, so I can use these for me. So that was my biggest thing for me, to push me to do my own deck. The second,
Mhm.
the market card and the bet card, those came because when years ago, like 10 years ago, when the online started about Lenormand, and everybody's getting to know about Lenormand. Oh my God, the viciousness the people had, how they used to fight each other. It was crazy
Mhm.
how they used to fight
We
each other.
call it the Lenormand Wars.
Yes, it is. It was the yes,
Really?
exactly. The Lenormand Wars. Yes, yes, yes. It was like wars, people against each other. And it was like, all okay. We all can all get the same
Mhm.
thing. It's okay if you use the lily. It's not gonna, other system use. I didn't know what system I was using until, like, I started, like, comparing. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, so that's my system. I remember when I first wrote my book, when I gave the first manuscript, because it was during the wars. I remember Barbara Morse
Yeah.
telling me, no, you need to tell me which system you use. I'm like, I don't know. I don't do systems. This is what I do. And then, we started doing, I'm like, okay, let me see. And she's like, no, you have to put which system. And I don't want to, like, put myself in a box, because this is not how I was. But then I
Mhm.
was like, okay, I guess the French system, because that's who uses the fox for the work, and the whip for sex, because of the act of sex is a repetitive kind of thing. It's like act of writing or act
Mhm.
of cleaning. You have to do something, you know? And then I'm like, okay, okay. But then because of this, I was like, you know what? Let's just keep
Let's
those
have a sex
cards,
card.
keep the fox a fox, manipulative and crafty and amazing, foxy, and let's
Mhm.
make a work card, and let's keep the whip for argument or repetitive, and have a sex card. And this is like my solution to the wars that was happening, because the wars were mainly
Well,
about
I
the sword.
think they really were. They really were. I think when you when you created those extra cards, I know there's a lot of people out there who will say you can't change Lenormand, you can't add things. Well, what they're failing to realize is that some of the earliest decks had 52 cards in there. So they had these extras, but they weren't extras at the time, and had a plethora of different meanings that retained those original meanings of the other cards. So what you did was actually fill a hole that there was in Lenormand as far as sleeping together is concerned. Is it whip? Is it lily? As far as work is concerned, is it fox? Is it moon? Is it anchor? Is it ship? And you took all those out and actually streamlined the Lenormand into those original meanings, and added what was actually causing the grief so much between Lenormand readers.
Thank you so much. Yes, I saw how much it at the beginning. I was very, like, worried, and because there was so many traditionalists, and I was worried I was going to be attacked. And I remember calling, the biggest traditionalist I know for me was Bjorn, and I'm telling him, look, I did this, and he's like, go for it, and I'm like, yes, you know,
Well, that's
and
the thing, I consider, as you know, myself traditional. But when the wars were on, I tried to create a cohesion between all of us, which is why I started the Lenormand Summit. So modern readers, whatever system you subscribe to could all be in one place, and they can all be as valid as one another rather than it being different teams.
I think I think that was amazing what you did, and having the Lenormand Summit, actually I love it so much because it shows us that, there is more than one outfit you can wear and look good. You can actually be wearing jeans and you're gonna look good, and you can be wearing whatever you want, you're gonna look good. And those are, like, for me, those different kind of like way of reading, because everybody read in their own way, and
Absolutely.
I enjoy watching other people do different way of reading. We have one that I actually love enjoying him reading in the summit. Oh my god, I'm losing his name. He's in Australia. He's so
AJ,
fun.
he's our favorite.
He's so
AJ,
he's so fun to watch, for
he's
example.
amazing.
And the way he reads, you can tell like how it is very raw, and it's coming from
Hmm.
his surrounding. You can see how
Yes,
Lenormand actually comes from the surrounding, from the human evolvement, from your own, from really your own, and all of us can get to the right answer. It's up to you and
exactly
what
that.
resonates with you and everything. Yes, I but no, what you
And
did,
if we
that
all
summit,
come together,
I
yeah,
love
and
it.
if we all come together, we generally come to the same conclusions anyway. It's just a different method of getting there.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Yes, this is why I have those extra cards, and I'm so proud of them. And because everybody loved them, and I'm seeing such a huge everybody, the comments I get and everything. So I added them in my new book, and my new book I explain more, and there's more examples and more things about them, and explain that whole system, and it's free for anybody to use. I don't, that's why it's apart from me. It's just something that came out, and please, anybody can because I get
Mira
people like
system.
sending me, yeah, they like, can I please use the bet card in I'm making a new deck. Can I use the bet card? Can I use the spirit card? So I'm here telling you, everybody can use that system, please. This is free for all. This is, I'm just how do you say this, the messenger,
Yeah. Do you know what? This is before you
conduit.
came on, I was actually saying how amazing you are and how everything you do shines. And that's the selflessness within you as well. Saying that to everybody, because so many would hold on to their original ideas. You've got a big heart, Rana, and it's absolutely in this world beautiful, and we should have more of you.
So are you,
So I have a
darling? Mirroring.
so I
Okay,
have
go
a
ahead.
question. How do you choose? This is from Anna. She says, "How do you choose what
Mhm.
system to draw your interpretation from? Whether it's modern, traditional, and can it be mix and match?"
All right. For me, the system that I grew up with, well, this is how it happened. I did not choose my system. The cards, the deck that was given to me when I was a child, it was like that one deck that's from, I don't know, the 40s or the 20s. It was like old deck, and it had, I think what I discovered later, it had a little booklet divided French and Arabic. And
Mm,
later, during the Lenormand Wars, when I was like trying to compare what system I'm using, because it didn't say anything on it, I figured out that it was very similar to the Philippe, I think. His name
yeah.
is Philippe, right? Yeah. So, and
Yes.
it was like the traditional distance and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
The thing is, while I'm doing readings all these years since I was 11, like I said before, you evolve, you change, you start
Oh
seeing
yeah.
things and learning things, and from so much experience. Well, this comes out like this every time. That means this, and this works like this. That means this. So when the more you do it, the more you just grow and grow and grow, and then your system becomes like more personal. It's like woo, but
Yes. I
you
think
know what I'm
it's
trying to say.
the relationship you build with the
Yeah,
system itself. I was similar to you in that when I first started reading Lenormand, I was doing basically whatever I wanted. And it didn't really click with me at first.
yeah,
And then one day I bought an antique deck and it had the original German instructions in there. And I thought, I'm going to learn this from this little instruction pack. And that's going to be my foundation moving forward. But once I'd done that and once I'd formed that relationship with it, with the meanings, I started to grow my own readings with it. And then more came and more came. And now my readings are nowhere like what I did early on,
exactly.
especially if you're a medium, especially if you are dealing with spiritual reads.
Yeah,
You have rules are great, but you have to create your own and
I
not
believe
listen
though.
to anyone else. Because at
Yes,
the other side of the fence, when in the Lenormand Wars, I was obviously traditional. I got a lot of shit when I first started. Um, you've always backed me, but when I first started, I don't know how many years ago it is now, maybe 15 years ago, online as teaching. I was on the traditional side, but not really engaging in the wars. But I took a lot of rubbish from everyone out there as well. So honestly, we've had the wars so that no one going forward has to have them again. What it's about is finding our own systems and not about fighting about what box means or anything along those lines. If it works for you, then go for it. But it doesn't work for me, and that's absolutely fine.
yeah. This is why in my book you can see a little bit of traditional distance, like in the Grand Tableau. I do still there's still some distance in there. I really believe strongly that when you do start, you start from something that resonate with you, and you stick to that beginning at the beginning. When you're practicing, you do need to pick one thing when you're
Yes.
practicing, and then when you're out, go whatever works for you. Follow your intuition, follow what works, and jump, and as long as you commit to yourself and you believe in yourself, this is like, you're good to go. It's all, it becomes very personal.
Yeah.
But when you start, it is very important for you to choose what you want to start. You can start traditional. It's amazing. It's all
Mhm.
good. I think traditional. You started traditional,
Mhm.
and that's what led me to create my Muri system. I started with the traditional. So
Yeah. And I would also say, don't worry about what anyone else is doing, because people will set rules all the way through your life. And if you get so bogged down, then you are going to have times when you don't know what that GT means because you're trying to put so many techniques in at once. And be so logical about it that that's not what it's about.
you move away from divination. Good job. Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. I second, I
Exactly that.
second, I second that. Yes, 100%.
So that leads us on to the question from Susanna. What do you do if you have a complete blank in front of a GT?
Okay. If you are, you take, it depends. You can take a break. and connect. If you have a complete blank, usually you have so much going on here. Usually,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you have like what you just said, 10 million meanings, 10 million
Think,
thoughts, 10 million,
yeah,
all of this. So you can either take a step back and realign yourself and empty your everything, your thoughts, maybe do a little clearing meditation, and then open your eyes and look at it with fresh eyes. Or you can just put it away, go watch a movie, relax,
exactly that. I
run.
think there are some times when we may be ill, for example, or we're just not 100%. We may have thoughts of what's going on in our lives, and or we may be invested in what the answer is.
Yeah,
And at those times, it means you're not neutral at that table.
yeah,
So you have to get yourself in a neutral state, or like you say, go watch, put Netflix on, binge something, and then come back to the table. And if it
yeah,
still doesn't work, put your deck back, give yourself a little time, have a bath, relax. And, the next time, because if you put yourself under pressure, you're going to screw yourself for next time.
exactly.
Mm.
Yes. Pressure. Anytime you're reading and there is a lot of pressure, no, it's not going to work. You go off, you definitely go off. So all the time, make sure you're connected, make sure you're calm and collected, make sure you are like, it's like when you're like this, you're like one with the card kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And we can't live like that all the time. Life does get in the way, and it is all right to actually not know the answer at that time.
100%.
So
100%.
we have a question on yes and no's. How do you do it with 3 cards?
Okay, so number one, move yourself out when you're doing yes and no's, because you will pull the card you want to see. So you need to be careful with that, and you need to practice so you can figure out if you're doing it or not. Because we do that a lot. I mean, Tony, do you agree with me?
Hmm.
Sometimes you pull the cards you want to see, right? Especially if you're
Oh
so
yeah,
connected to it. If you're reading for a loved one that going through a hard time, you will pull the card you want to see sometime. Or you can pull cards and you read them how you want to see them. Like you can skew it, because
yeah. It has.
especially,
You have to be pretty black and white with it.
yes, especially us, the season, like the more you're seasoned, the more you can come up with ways of getting the answer you want. You're like, yeah, this is like this, and then you take a step back and you're like, oh my God, I did not see this because I didn't want to see it, you know so you have to stay neutral, you have to stay objective, you have to like literally take yourself out. This is number one. You take yourself out. And usually I don't like to pull, like, for yes and no. 3 cards is too much because it's Lenormand. 1 card is enough for yes and no. Two max.
Yeah.
Two max. Three too much. You're gone off. You're like way off. I stick to 1 card, and I do. Let's say if I pull 1 card and it's the letter, take another card. And if it comes up, let's say another neutral, let's say, the riders, or and any other neutral, I will like, okay, I need to focus more. I shove it, put it back in the cards, reshuffle, take a deep breath, put myself out. Is this good for me? And I pull 1 card. And it has to be either a positive or a negative. And I stop at 1 card. This is what I do. What about you? What do you do?
Well, it depends. I will pull 3 cards from times, and I'll use the overall negative versus positive values. But if I'm ever unsure, or if the yes or no is super, super important, I will pull 3 times to make sure that each time it's the same answer. And if it's not the same answer each time, I'm not supposed to know the answer to that question.
Yes, yes, and phrasing that
Because
that's
sometimes I think we don't need to know.
and here you guys have it, how two different ways they can work, and they're
Hmm.
amazing. You have Tony's way, you
Absolutely.
have my way, and they both work. It's amazing.
And you know
um
what? You've done yours for a number of years. And what actually made me start doing that was when my boys were young. And they kept bringing sickness bugs back to the house. And I have a fear of sickness bugs. So to calm my mind when they were looking a little bit off, I would pull, or I'd cut the deck like you do. I'll just cut the deck and look at the card at the bottom. In the cut, I'll just have a look and see clouds are no, moon a yes for me. Um, but I think it has helped me over the years. But it takes a lot to build your own system in that, like you say. You've got to have that relationship. You've got to know those card meanings inside and out as to whether it's a positive for you, not a positive for everyone else in the world. Is that card a positive for you? And when you know that, then it's easy. You can use one card, you can use 2 cards. Like you say, it's a natural process for you then.
Exactly. You make it personal to whatever you do. And I like how you say you play with it. Yes, I play. I sometimes I just pick up the thing, and
Mhm.
I just go like this without even shuffling. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I look at it. Oh,
Yes.
birds. Not yet. So, and yes.
Yeah.
And also if it didn't work sometime, the yes and no you phrase, I sometimes just rephrase the question, and I just from away, like, okay, so if I do this, how is it going to be? And then you can
Yes.
pull like the 3, the 5,
Yes.
whatever card you want. That way you can
Absolutely.
get a whole kind of vision.
A Surya also asked, do you think the language you speak influences your readings? I speak multiple language and I don't know which one to choose.
I speak multiple language also, and Tony
Me
probably speak
too.
multiple language also. um That's an interesting question. I never thought about it. If you speak different languages, if it impacts your
I
reading.
I think it impacts it in how comfortable you are in that language. English is my mother tongue, so reading in English and mediumship in English will always flow quicker. In German, I'm fluent in German and I can read in German, but I wouldn't say it's as fluid as my mother tongue language.
Hmm. For me, I would say probably, for me it works in every way. Um, yeah,
But I
it's
think that's a more a sign of true bilingualism or multilingualism than anything. So the strongest language, if you're not strong in both languages, which I do consider myself strong in German, obviously, because I'm fluent, but I wasn't born there. Um, so I would naturally feel more comfortable in English and my interpretations would flow easier than in the German language. But
well,
if you're
science.
multilingual,
Yeah.
then shouldn't make a difference.
Well, yeah, science says that a different, like a mother that has a different tongue changes the way. When you have different
Mm,
tongues, when you have different talking, a different, more than one native language, you see the world differently. Like you see it in,
absolutely.
in that way, and then you see it in that way, and then you see it in that way. So I'm sure it kind of affects it, but if you follow a specific, like, system for you, it's gonna work like across the board no matter what you do.
Absolutely agree with you there. So let's have a look what other questions we have. I actually have one to ask you that I believe will help everybody in the comments. And that is, what common Lenormand mistakes do you see and what advice would you give?
Ooh, common Lenormand mistakes is the number one is the question. When people ask the multiple question in one question, they're gonna mess up the reading.
Oh, yeah.
And how to phrase the question is key to everything. And so that's one like big mistake. Another mistake, when you're like too rigid, too you want to make sure that it fits a certain thing, and you're going in it very tight. I see I
Mm-hmm.
um I see a lot of students, like, you think the answer is X, and it has to be, either that X or Y. And if you get something out, you're like, whoa, what is this? Because it might be Z, or it might be, so I see, like, I work a lot on students to relax. And that is very important, to enjoy. When you're enjoying, you actually can study, and can, like, at the beginning, because it's, you have to like practice it. When you're practicing it over and over, you in a very enjoyable way, you get it. Also, there is another mistake I see is, they tend to read way more into it. They put like one card, and they will give me a whole like movie story from two cards. I'm like, where did you get all this? Show me this. No, there is not this, there is not I mean, they will go sometime into, oh, he had a bad dream, and the bad dream, because he had a bad dream, he wasn't able to function to his and I'm like, no, 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 you need to just read the card, just read the cards.
Yeah.
Don't make up things. I get that a lot in the students. So this is like just reading the card. And sometimes I can see them very psychically connected, and this is why they go far, because they actually see and they are correct. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you're good, but for the sake of the practice, you really just need to tell me the cards. That's going to help you and help your psychic ability better later. So there is
Yeah.
this is what I see from my student. I'm sure there's a lot more. This is what comes to mind. What about you, Tony? From your students,
Well,
what
I
is the
think there are a few things. I do see sometimes that students miss a card out entirely because they're either not comfortable with the meaning of the card or don't want to go down a negative route, for example, if it's a negative card, and often leave out a card. Lilies is one of them. Lilies is often left out in a read just because I think students sometimes don't know what to do with it. But I also think, like what we were talking about before with the techniques, I think people can get bogged down by the mechanics of a GT rather than, like you say, enjoying and flowing with the read, allowing yourself to flow rather than checking all the cartomantic directions, uniting your diagonals, and being real rigid with it. For example, the four corners of a GT. some people won't read a GT unless they read the four corners and then they read the center cards, and it's fine to have a routine. But if you are limiting yourself by just looking at techniques, you're going to miss that flow within there. You're going to miss the story that's going on.
That's 100%. Also, sometimes I see people are too scared to read negative cards. They try to hide or ignore the truth sometimes. So there is
I
that.
always say, don't put lipstick on a pig. If it's a little piggy card, then you have to read it like one.
Yes, yes. Just pull the bandage. Yes.
Sadly, life isn't all shiny all the time. And people don't come to us when they're having their best times in their life. They usually come when they have a struggle. So if we can't address those struggles, then we're not really helping the person to get on.
100%. There's a question for you, Tony. I see. What is your favorite divination system and why? Lenormand, Kipper, Gypsy, or Sibylla?
I use predominantly Lenormand. Lenormand and Kipper are my two main systems, and every single read I do is with Lenormand or Kipper. When I'm having fun and doing things for myself, I may pull something else out. For example, I can't see it here. I've got the Nova Oracle, which I absolutely love. I've got tarot decks on my desk. I've got a Gypsy deck in front of me. So they're all there when I want them. But if I'm doing a professional read, it will always be Lenormand and Kipper in some kind of combination, because they're the systems that I've fallen in love with, and they're the systems that I have the strongest relationship with. What other systems do you use, Rana?
Oh, I use a lot. I use everything. I use whatever I have under my hands. But Lenormand is really my go-to, and tarot and charms. I mean, but
Yeah, look, I've
I'm
got my
doing
pendulums as well.
and pendulums.
Got
Yeah,
my
sometimes if I'm out, like I would say, I would just pull like a necklace, and I just go like this, or like, show me yes,
yes.
show me no, quickly, quickly. Like so. But if when I'm doing like a professional and it's really very I have time frame, I have booking. I go for the grand tableau. That's my go-to. Why? Because when I go for the grand tableau, I don't, and I prefer that. I don't want the client to tell me anything. I go open the grand tableau, I see what's going
Yeah.
on, and I'm like, okay, so this is what's going on. I see this, I see this, I see that. And then I see that this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. You need this, you need that, and that's it. So it's very short, quick. I mean, not that short, but you know what I mean. It's very, how
Yeah.
do I say this? Clean line, and very easy, and very the precision. That's the word.
Yeah.
It's precise, and it tells you directly exactly where, like the incision. It's like right there. You need to sew it right there. And then it's like such a surgical tool for me. I think like it's because it's such clean and clear. Lenormand. But everything else also is amazing. Sometimes, I add, let's say, one tarot deck because I felt like it. It depends on. Sometimes I feel, the client. It depends on what I'm feeling at that moment. Because sometimes the client will be, like I'm feeling well. The client, maybe that client needs more visual, but I don't think that way. I don't like think it. I feel it. I later on, I'm like, why did I pull this? I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he needed, I analyze
Yeah.
later. I follow first and I analyze later. And I pull, like, you pull one card of a tarot deck, and then something in the picture can trigger something with the client that helps them. So basically anything. I can add anything to the Lenormand, but I'm like you. I start with the Lenormand when I'm doing, and for me, fun, anything next to me. The phone, the anything. I look at somebody what they're wearing. They have this on that finger because da 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 da. I mean, it
Yes.
becomes part of you.
Yeah. Well, it's also the environment. We go in the garden and look at the flowers and do flower readings
Love
or
that.
listen to the wind. So we use the whole world around. I even use lorries, Rana. I have a thing when I'm in the car that if
Tell
I
me.
see certain types of lorry, they give me a message. So we have one particular one that's something really bad's gonna happen. We've got one that tells me I've got to do this today. So I even use in traffic, or I'll ask a question and say, put it on the side of a lorry. So when I'm driving, whatever lorry's going past, I read what's on the livery, and that's my answer.
That's amazing. So if anybody doesn't know what is a lorry, it is a truck. So just
Oh,
in case,
sorry, yes.
yeah. So
That's very
yes.
true.
So yeah, and the wind. I love the wind. I have a wind chime, and sometime when I hear it, I can hear like answers, and it's like,
Yes.
so yeah, it's amazing. But I love your truck and lorry. Yeah, yeah.
You've got to use everything.
Exactly, because the world's always talking to you, and we don't, we
Yeah,
have the antennas, and most of us don't use the antennas and see that actually
absolutely.
everything is always talking to us. The world is literally always helping us. It's always helping us. So many things are helping us. The like you said, the grass, the winds, everything's always helping us.
Karen Polis has a good question for us. Will the emotional state of the sitter affect the reading?
Sitter, you mean you or the client?
So the other person, the person
I think
having the
both.
read.
Both. Sometime if somebody comes, uh if a client comes and they're very frazzled, because I need somebody, I need to look at somebody's eyes, and if I see them flazzle, I kind of like bring them here, connect them, because if they're frazzled, I'm gonna be reading so many things that is not as important to what they actually need. So, and if I'm frazzled, of course I'm gonna get so many, I'm not gonna be able to read. So the emotional state of me doing the reading affects the reading 100%. uh but you know what, sometimes I don't do this for clients. No, you have to be calm, you have to be, but if by myself and I'm doing this for, like, let's say my kids or something, and if I'm like freaking out, or having anxiety and I'm going crazy, I do pull card and it does work. So
Hmm.
to answer that question is yes and no. It depends on you.
Yes.
It depends
I would
on you.
say, yeah, because we have to lead the session. So I think just like if somebody was going to see a professional service in some way, the professional has to lead or navigate the way forward by starting that communication, because everybody that comes to your table is nervous. Everybody that comes to your table is worrying about something. A lot of them are frazzled too. So it's like you say that you have to bring them into, you have to give them a sense of calm from yourself. Tell them that everything's all right. There's nothing to worry about. And how the session runs. This is how we're going to read together. If there's anything negative that comes up, don't worry. We'll look into every avenue for you. We'll
Yes.
find you a way out. And you find your clients then start to relax in themselves anyway, because you're exuding Rana. So you probably find that your querents settle really quickly at the table.
Yes, yes, it's very, yes. 100% when you are doing a professional, you have to help them because you need to uplift them and help them. There is more to a reading than just telling them, you know, you're gonna hit a wall
But
or
yeah, and the other thing is, if their energy is all over the place, it's all right to say today is not a good day. You know, if they can't do the session without being extremely in an awful emotional state, which has never happened to me.
okay.
Everybody
I don't.
seems
I'm like, yeah.
everybody everybody seems to calm down at the table anyway. It's just starting nerves. But if you didn't feel comfortable with someone else's energy, for example, as a reader, you don't have to read if you don't feel
Yes,
comfortable.
yes. You can say no. It hasn't happened to me, but yes, yes. And then it is very important to. I actually do, like, I can like go help them through a breathing
Yeah,
exercise, or I help them through anything, whatever comes to me at that moment, to help them collect themselves and be here and be calm. And then when this happens, then we can start the reading, and it flows amazing. Um,
yeah,
Yes, and yes, it depends your feeling. If you feel like, hey, no, I'm not feeling this person even before, it's sometimes you do turn down people, because it is how do I say, it's too soon since oh, I always, if somebody comes to me after, like, let's say 3 months and they want another reading, I say, no, 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 no. There is not enough time that has passed for things to have matured, for things to have has changed, for you to have like done, unless it's like a totally different, something totally different, and we have not talked about it, and we have not. That's another thing. But
yeah,
usually I do turn down, and if they are too frazzled and too like, oh my god, I need a reading right now, I need a reading right now, this is like, yeah, 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 yeah. So yes, yes.
Right, let's see what other questions I have, and then I'll go back into the comments. What advice would you give to a student that was laying cards but not feeling that they've got a clear answer? If
Okay.
it's confusing to them, what should they do?
So, like we talked before, that sometime you get a contradictory answer. Why do we get contradictory answer? Usually, as we go back to the question, how did you phrase the question? Let's, for the sake of this question, for the sake of this, right now, you did ask the question perfectly, and you still got something contradictory. Um, I would ask the question in a different way, and in a different way. If I know that, number one, I asked a very good question, I am calm, I am connected, I am, I don't have crazy, chaos in my thoughts. If all of these are checked, you're calm, you're collected, you're connected, everything is good, it's all good, you are one with the cards, everything, and you're still getting a conflicting, then I would ask the question in a different way. In a different way, I will try to move the question left and right, ask it in a different way to try to get the answer. Usually that works. If it still doesn't work, it's not right now. Right now is not for me
Exactly.
to get the answer, because maybe something is being changed up in ether. Maybe the person is in the middle of, making a decision. They haven't made it yet, so they still have more than one different path to choose from, and they haven't picked the path. So I'm getting the
Yep.
conflicting. This is why I'm getting the conflicting answer. So it's either, so they need to make that choice before I can answer. So there is like so many things, but there is technique to figure out that it's not ready, it's not mature yet. That's for me. What
Completely
about
agree with you. Completely agree with you in every way. And I would recommend the same, asking different questions, but a nuance of a different question, because there are there are so many questions for the same question. If you think about any situation, what I always say is, imagine you're in that situation. What would you be asking? What would you want to know? And so I just go through a list in my head of how many other questions there are, and go through them until I'd got a full answer that was satisfactory to myself. And if not, if there was any way they were still confused, take a photo and have a look at it later, because we've all
yeah,
got iPhones now. Take a photo and then look at it later in the day, or look at it later in the time, and understand. That's the best way to learn, especially after situations have happened. You can look back at that spread and say, all right, now I know.
exactly. And I found out we sometimes people forget that it is a conversation. It's really a conversation when you are, working with the cards. And sometimes, like it's like a friend. You're talking to a friend, and sometimes the friend is like not in the mood to say something right now. So,
Hmm.
and sometimes because it's a conversation, you can ask the friend, when you're trying to get like something, why are they upset? Okay, well, is this make you upset? Did this happen? Did this happen? That's how the conversation, you try to get the answer by asking multiple things. So remember, is always a conversation. Yes.
So, as a pro Lenormand teacher, what advice would you give to to students on their combinations as far as Lenormand is concerned?
Combination is personal. At the beginning, you have to practice. I have in my book a way to practice, to put and play around. Keep practicing the combination if you're a beginner. Practice the combination of multiple, ways, put two cards together and start to come up with what these two cards can be. So many things. And let's say, start your combination by, daily, like let's say, what would you say if I put this combination here? I'm using my glitter. I just glittered these yeah, it's girly. For somebody that's, I have three boys, I like glitter so much. So yeah, so we have the child and the lilies. So let's say, I would say combination is for you to go on daily. Pick do two daily, two every day. Pick two daily, and then you wait and see how did these come up. How did these come
Yeah.
up? Did you have, and here, like you said, the lily. Wow, the lily. People have an issue with the lily, and I just pulled, the lily. So here it can be that something that's going to take a long time, it happened faster. Like you were waiting for something longer, it happened faster. It depends on your daily. It comes up so many different way that you cannot. What I said right now, this would not come in practice, because it's not, it comes from living. It comes from,
It
uh
does.
yeah,
Experience.
exactly. Or you can be like, you had a short time for yourself. You just took a time for yourself to just go into Zen mode, go into, I don't know, go for a swim, for a walk, go for a meditation, go draw or something. So it could be, so many different things. And this comes from, number one, You have to do your practice. That is my number one for beginners. Start by practicing. After you practice so much, doing the actual uh, educational learning, not intuition and that stuff, just educational learning practice, then go and do the pull 2 cards daily and see what happens, and then write them down, because you might get
Yeah.
the same cards another day and something else might happen, and then you start learning the 2 cards combination slowly um, through life. Yeah. What about
Perfect
and
way.
you?
And because
What about your thoughts?
we all have times in life where things are actually easy. So if you pull in cards for every single day, then you are seeing what those easy days look like in Lenormand. And then you'll have a time where things are awful and you get those difficult cards. And until you've experienced the thing and linked it to your Lenormand over and over again, it becomes second nature, because you felt those cards. You have felt what it feels like on those days when those cards arise. And Jane has a good trick that she teaches students, in that she'll tell them to pull for the day yesterday. What
Woo!
happened yesterday? So you can
Woo!
see what cards, and you can already apply them and start learning, because you've already lived that day.
I like that.
Which I think,
I
yeah,
like that a lot. I
that's
like that a
Jane.
lot.
I can't take I can't
Yeah, go
take
Jane, go Jane. I like that.
yeah. So let's have a look what else we have. I'm struggling with these comments now because there's quite a few. So A Surya asks, do you cleanse your cards, or do you leave your energy on them all the time?
So I used to cleanse them after every reading. After every reading, I just put a selenite on top when I finish the reading, so I can close and cut. And especially, energy is always exchanged and residue and yada yada yada. So I pick up a selenite and I just put it on the deck after I close, and that for me it's like an act, of me ending and is done. So this is, but for my and I have a deck for doing readings usually, but sometimes I use both, and for me and for I don't have like system, but usually I try to put like, okay, this deck is only for reading and this deck is for my personal use, but it's not working that way. But usually when I am in my, just for me, between me and me, I just shuffling, the act of shuffling, it clears and
Yes. Yes. That's
you
my
can
cleansing method, shuffling.
I, I believe you can, this is like a personal what you like, because you can make it as elaborate as you wish it to be and as simple as you
Yep.
wish it to be, because it is your tool and you are, remember, it's you. It's you. They're
Yes.
just cards. They're just cards, and I love them.
I also have a good exercise for myself as well. Very early on reading, I was taught that if I wanted to truly re-energize a deck, you should put it back in number order. And
Oh
that kind of
yes.
stuck with me a little bit. So what I do is I set myself a task, and I'll shuffle the deck, but then I'll put it in number order just by looking at the symbols to check how quickly I know that, like, 1 rider, 2 clover, 3 ship, 4 house, how quickly I can actually get through those as I'm throwing them down.
Let me tell you, you have more patience at this point. Maybe I think I've done that like really long time ago, like I'd say like
No,
20
I
years
do
ago.
that when I am getting ready for a lesson because
It
I generally need my decks in
it
number order when I do
uh,
lessons. Um, but shuffling, that's all I do, shuffle.
and
I think at the beginning I would have had sage out and I would have been smoking my decks out and things like that. But when you become a professional reader, so you're doing it all the time, the method that suits you is the quickest one.
yeah,
And the quickest one for me is just shuffling because I enjoy shuffling because it gets you in that place.
putting them in order also. When you put them in order now, like I felt like when you actually take the moment and putting them in order, it kind of like centers you, like brings
Mm-hmm.
you here, brings
Yeah.
all of you here, brings your focus into the card, brings your, everything, your thoughts and everything. So yeah, do whatever resonates with you.
Yeah, Surya says, I didn't know you could cleanse with shuffling. I've thrown decks on the floor before and just had a big splash around and then put them back together. It's whatever you feel is right, and there's no wrong answers. There really isn't.
Exactly.
I wouldn't wash them.
No, please.
But that's about it.
No, please. You can actually get a soap and put it on top of it because it's the intention of cleansing.
Yeah,
Anything.
exactly.
But
Or a
that's about it.
pendulum. Yeah. So let's see if we've got anything else. I'm finding it hard to follow the comments because I need new glasses, Rana.
I am with you right there. That's why I am leaving it to you. Like I'm trying. I need to get back closer. Oh, we're in the
It's
same boat.
so bad. This getting old thing is bad, Rana.
Thank you.
uh,
I love the Rena's nail polish. I saw that. They are so cool.
yay. I was trying to find Lenormand questions,
We can do any
but
question. It's
obviously my
okay.
nose is almost at the screen now.
All right, let's see. Whatever you think cleanse the card will cleanse the card. Yes, K and K-pop. Correct. Um, Getting old
Oh,
isn't
when
for the
does
weak.
your book come out, by the way, Rana?
December. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. December, my book. I'm doing. The book is going to be out, and I'm super excited. It's the new
Amazing.
Lenormand, the essential Lenormand, the new upgraded.
Amazing.
There's a lot. It's bigger, and there's a
Can't
lot
wait.
in it. Of course, it's been 10 years since the last one, so during that 10 years, we all
All
grew.
things
So of
change.
course, the Lenormand grew, and there's more meanings and more, a lot of upgrades, and I added a lot of stuff to it. So I hope you guys like it. I can't wait for you guys get the new book.
And is it coming out with Llewellyn?
Yes, it is Llewellyn.
Yes.
They're doing that. They're doing.
And it'll be available on Amazon, I'm sure, in December.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
It will be available on Amazon soon, I am
It's
sure.
available right now. You can pre-order it.
Oh,
You can go ahead and
everybody.
pre-order it. Yes,
Everybody.
everybody. You can pre-order
The
it on Amazon. You can pre-order it on Llewellyn. You can pre-order it anywhere you get books. Yeah, it's available right now. So when you pre-order it, you get it like first. So yes,
hell,
yes, you
Jane.
can.
I'll get Jane ordering it now. Yes, Stella,
Go,
quick,
go, Jane,
Amazon,
order it. It's
everybody.
got mediumship in it section also, and
And
I
did
got
you
the
know
LGBTQ section.
amazing. Somebody did ask a question, but I lost it up there. Desi says they pre-ordered it 3 weeks ago.
Thank
So
you,
everybody in the
Desi.
comments, get to Amazon to make sure you've got the updated copy coming out in December. And if you want to join Rana at Lenormand Summit, you can find the information in the description of this video. If you
Yes.
head to Rana's Instagram, you will also find a chance to win a read with Rana. So hop over to Rana George 1 on Instagram. Have a look at her post because you will see everybody is in a chance to win. You just have to comment on that post and join us at Lenormand Summit so you can actually watch your read.
Yes, as
And we've
long
not done that before, have we, Rana? On the summit.
No,
So that's the
I've never
first
done
time.
that. And you have to be okay to have your reading done in public. Uh, so this is very important because so many things comes out in a reading. So you have to be okay. And yeah, that's about it. I've never done this ever. So I'm going to do a free reading for one person.
Can't wait.
Yes, if you want, maybe I can keep the name private. But if it's like, I'm gonna have a big
I'm
bocal, a big
sure.
thing, and I'm gonna pull a
Yeah,
name.
I'm sure nobody would care about having the name said to actually get a
Where
read
is it?
from
We've
you.
already had names in it. Where did it go? Where did
You
it go?
got a
Hold on.
hat already.
I want to show you guys, the names we have so far. I'm gonna show
Wow.
you. This is it. This is the name. I need to add more. I haven't added more. I'm waiting until the end. So this is it. I have names in there, and then I'm going to pull a name from there, and I'm gonna do the reading for the person.
That's amazing. It really is. I am so excited for it.
So
And I
September
have
6th,
yes,
go
September
and
6th and
join the
7th.
summit. So go ahead.
Tickets are in the description below. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, my friend Rana, I love you very much. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for joining me and supporting me at the summit every single year. It's 5 years now, Rana. And 2 hours of Rana as well. We don't just have one. Rana is our keynote every single time for 2 hours on Saturday the 6th at 6 p.m., I believe. Can't wait. Thank you so much. I will put my outro on now and sending you all my love and thanks to Dylan as
I
well.
love you. Thank you, Tony, for having me.
Love you,
You are
Rana.
amazing. And I love you guys. And I love you, Tony and Jane. And, you guys are, thank you for supporting me during my time. I'll never forget that also.
Always.
So I love
Always.
you guys. I love everybody that joined us today. Thank you. And I hope to see you all on September 6th. And I can't wait to see actually who's going to win it. I'm excited to see who's going to get the reading.
Yay.
Love you.
Bye, Rana.
Bye, Tony.